Hello and welcome to the Super Rugby quarter finals preview brought to you by DrivingMaul. Hi, I'm Paul, the guy behind DrivingMaul, your best place for rugby predictions and opinion. And yes, we are going to talk about the Jaguares versus the Brumbies and the Crusaders versus the Hurricanes. I say we because, yes, joining me is Ryan Nixon. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, thanks. And I should correct you because it's the semi-final preview, not the quarterfinals.
Oh, it is as well, yeah. Oh dear, semi-final preview even. Jeez, come on, Paul. See, I just wish
sorry.
the season to go for longer.
Yeah, that's it. There's only 2 weeks left. You can't squeeze another one in.
Oh no, jeez, what am I going to do with my life? I mean, what, at least 3 or 4 weeks until we have an All Blacks game? Anyway.
Yeah, yep.
But some of us, what you can do is you can fill that gap with club rugby. So, for example, this weekend, in between my stints working at a beer festival in Auckland, I'm going to pop down and try and watch, I think it's Tech v Ponsonby, to catch Sonny Bill Williams playing some club rugby. So maybe see you down there at Otaki Reserve, I think it is. So if you're around in Auckland and fancy to see Sonny Bill Williams for free, not having to pay to watch him play, you can head down there. Anyway, slight sidetrack from what's going on. But Jaguares versus the Brumbies just to kick us off. Looking at the Jaguares side, Petty's fit. Moyano is back from injury, and Kramer was in doubt, but he's okay as well. So the starting lineup is Vivas, Creevy, Medero, Petty, Lavanini, Matera, Lozana, Desio as the pack, Cabelli, Bonilla, De La Fuente, Orlando in the centres, and then Moreno, Cancelleri, and Boffelli in the backs. That is it's a strong side being put out by the Jaguares. Pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it's a settled side. So I guess Kramer under a little bit of doubt. So he drops to the bench, and the only change is Lozana coming onto the open side. Probably gives them a little bit more mobility. I think Kramer kind of that weird sort of lock open side hybrid that they use, but Lozana, I think that will help them win that battle at the breakdown against the Brumbies, and yeah, it's a strong side, and I think we've seen that all year from the Jaguares that they're a team with some good combinations. They've really rotated their squad well and put themselves in a position now where they've got a settled lineup. So they use those late weeks to kind of give guys some rest. I thought they managed Creevy's minutes really well through the season, using Montoya as a starter quite a bit and managing those minutes for a guy that is getting on. So it's a formidable lineup, and hey, I mean, looking further ahead, it's the kind of lineup that I think could be a little smoky at the World Cup too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's good. Obviously, got the majority of that Pumas side in there. You talk about the breakdown, and the breakdown is going to be a big fighting point. Ruck success rate for these two teams, 96% for both of them. Jaguares must have a slight point something because they're ranked second in the competition to Brumbies third. Turnovers won. We have second by in the competition in the Jaguares and third in the competition by the Brumbies. So this is going to be a really, really tight contested breakdown. That's when you got the second and third best side for being successful with their own rucks and for turning over and for creating turnovers. You've got to say, yeah, that's going to be a key battleground for this game, isn't it? Yeah,
absolutely. And I don't think you don't expect anything else from these kind of teams. They're combative. They like to mix it up in the forwards. Both teams have a little bit of danger out wide, but I think when you look at this Brumbies side, the quality is in their pack more than anywhere else.
Yeah, but the Jaguares, I think the quality is kind of in their backs, not in an offloading sense. I mean, both these sides are like 13th and 15th for offloads. So yeah, you're not going to see an offloading style, but you are going to see an attempt at getting quick ruck ball before spinning it wide. A couple of places where there's some quick, clear differences. kicks from hand. The Jaguares kick from hand more than any other team in this competition, whereas the Brumbies are down in 13th. So expect the Brumbies to hold on to the ball a bit more. And then scrum time. This Jaguares side has got a very good mobile pack, a good line-out pack as well. But at scrum time, 15th in the competition. They are not. That's a real struggle against the Brumbies, who are second in the competition for scrums. It's going to be, the handling is going to be a key factor for these Jaguares. They can't afford to knock the ball on, can they?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting point about the scrum, because there's the old Argentinian myth about, strong scrummaging, and hey, at some point that was true, but it really isn't now, and that's, at Jaguares level, at the Pumas level. You look at that Brumbies pack, and I think, if we want to go through their lineup, not only do they have a strong starting eight, but the kind of experience and quality that they bring off the bench with James Slipper and company. So yeah, that's where the game's going to be won and lost. I mean, it's a bit of a cliche, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah, sorry. I should have gone through the Brumbies line. Again, another settled team. Only one change in the starting 15. So it's Co, Fainga, and Alatoa, Arnold, Carter in the engine room, Valentini, Cusack, and McCaffrey are the loosies. Powell and Leofano will run the show with Simone and Kirandrani in the centres. Pulu, Spate, and Banks are your back three. So, yeah, absolutely, you've got as you say, another settled side as well, which is good. Not many players missing through injury, and you've and I guess actually the other thing to point out is that this is Christian Leofano's 150th Super Rugby game for the Brumbies.
Great story for him too. What he's been through. So, the battle with cancer, and then to go away to Britain and then come back, and the Brumbies underperformed last year, but they've been, I think, clearly the best Australian side this year, particularly over the back half. The Rebels faded away poorly, and the Brumbies kind of just grew from strength to strength after an inconsistent start to the season. They lose Pete Samu, who's the one injury loss from last week, with a hamstring injury, didn't go to Argentina. But I thought Lachlan McCaffrey at the start of the year, before he got injured, was one of their form forwards. So they don't lose too much there. What they probably do lose in not having Samu is they just now lose that impact Lucy off the bench that they would have had having him or McCaffrey coming off the pine. So
yeah, a 6-2 bench again. So they're expecting the forwards to get through a lot of work and to have to replace them. But again, that does leave them to the fact that if they lose Christian Leofano to injury, then they're in for a real long old afternoon. Because having Tom Wright come off the bench, I don't think he's not a I think he's a back three player, isn't he? So that would definitely leave them short there. So after all that, I've gone for the Jaguares by 5. Which is the result that they've had for the past 2 games over the Brumbies. What's your prediction for the weekend?
Yeah, I like the Jaguares as well. Probably a bit narrower, 2 or 3.
2 or 3. So a close game on Saturday morning, New Zealand time. I'll be on the door at the beer festival then, so unfortunately I won't be able to bring you post-match reaction to that one. We then follow it by Crusaders versus the Hurricanes. We haven't at time of recording. We don't have the lineups yet, but I think we can probably expect them to be pretty similar to last week. Don't you think?
Yeah, I wouldn't be expecting many changes at all. I think you get to this point of the competition, you stick with your settled combinations unless you've got some sort of angle for a change, or you've got injury concerns. So. Yeah, I guess if you look at the Crusaders, maybe there's a case for Braden Ennor to come in, but I think they stick with Bridge and Reese on the wings. So yeah, I wouldn't expect changes at all.
Yeah, and if you're looking at the stats, you want to see how different this game's going to be for the with the Jaguares and the Brumbies. As I said, sort of meters made 12th and 15th in the competition, clean breaks 11th, 14th. defenders beaten 15th, 14th. It's going to be offloads 13th, 15th. It's going to be bash quite a lot there. I know. Whereas you compare that to this game, meters made is 1 and 2 in the competition here. Clean breaks 1 and 6. Defenders beaten 3 and 1. Offloads 2 and 12. So you're going to see a much more, a much freer game. Kicks from hand, 11 from the Crusaders. So I don't expect the Crusaders to kick it very much. The Hurricanes will kick it a little bit more of a territory. But a lot more free-flowing rugby expected in this game.
I think that kind of is what you.
Sorry about the fire alarm test there, folks. Hopefully,
I'm awake.
Oh dear.
I know I had a late night, but that was uncalled for. I think it's what you expect from New Zealand sides, and finals rugby can do some strange things and maybe tighten it up and maybe see it the odd change of tactic, whether it's going for taking points when they're on offer rather than going to the corner. But I think these teams really they back their process more than others. So I think if they feel that they can win, or score a try from a line out, they'll go to the corner. They won't take the points. And I think we'll still see a pretty exciting open game, particularly if the conditions play ball down in Christchurch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we do have the first and the second most points scored, first and third tries. I mean, yes, these have been the two sort of most free-flowing, or two of the most free-flowing teams in the competition. I do expect, and all these sounds in the background, I'm sorry, folks, I'm having a shocker of a day today.
You're like one of those old school car alarms that makes all the different noises.
Oh, dear. But you're right. I do expect them both to kick for goals. And whilst the Crusaders have been kicking 72%, Moanga's kicking towards the end of the season has been much better. He missed everything at the beginning of the season, but he's much better now. A lot of people will talk about that attack and obviously look at players like Reese, Bridge, Enor that have been running things in for fun. But at the end of the day, the stat that really I think holds out as to why the Crusaders have been so successful is missed tackles. They're first in the competition. They missed 17 tackles a game. And that's going to be the big sort of need for the Hurricanes is to get over that gain line, break a few tackles to get that front football for their backs, because that's where they've been beaten up before by the Crusaders, is in in those tight areas, and I think that's going to be a key. To me, that's the key for the Hurricanes to win this game is to bust a few tackles and get over that gain line. Otherwise, I think it's going to be a long day at the office.
Yeah, and I think similar to the Jaguares, this is a game where they want to stay away from set piece, because I think the Crusaders will have a clear edge at scrum time. It's quite an interesting. It's an interesting game because the Hurricanes won more games than any team this year, but finished fourth by the quirk of bonus points. The Crusaders having 3 draws or 2 draws in the abandoned game. And the way the first wild card fits into 4th spot, we get probably the 2 best teams in the competition on record. The team with the most wins is 4th. I'm doing the earmarks for those not watching the video. But yeah, in terms of style, the Crusaders, we know what they're going to get. They're going to try and dominate up front through their pack, and then they've got the quality backs out wide. Whereas I think the Hurricanes are going to look to try and win turnovers, look to play on the counter, and use their more X-factor players. And I'd say with the likes of Savia, Barrett, and company, they probably have a little bit more X-factor about them and can have those match-defining plays. The Crusaders are the kind of team that stop you from having those plays.
Yeah, and you're right about that set piece. If you look at when the Crusaders score their points, they've scored 36 tries off first phase ball, 21 tries off phase 2 and 3. So that's 59 tries off the first 3 phases. Phases more than 4 phases, they've only scored 19 tries. So they really have got their strike move sorted out, which means if you give them a set piece platform to attack from, there's a good chance they're going to score within 3 phases. and that's where so the Hurricanes are going to have to be very, very aware at that point. For the Hurricanes, it's not quite so as clear cut. They're 25 off first phase, 18 off 2 to 3, and then another 21 after that. So it's a little bit more even. They're happier slightly to go through the phases, but again, they more like as you say, turnover ball to get those tries. Whereas the Crusaders, a lot of it is offset piece. There's and I guess the other myth we should talk about is this one, or I'm not sure if it's a myth or not, but that the Crusaders score before and after half time.
The old Brumbies phrase of championship minutes,
Exactly. So either side of half time, so in that second quarter and third quarter, that's where the Crusaders have scored 48 of their tries compared to 30 tries in the first and last quarter of the game. So it is true that myth is true. The Hurricanes, it's much more even. They score a few more tries in the last quarter, but on the whole, they score 15 to 18 tries every quarter, and it's pretty even across the thing. I think for the Hurricanes is they need a decent start. They need to keep either ahead of the Crusaders or at least within touching distance. If it gets to 2 scores gap, then I think it's at that point it's going to be all over. A lot of people are going to talk about Mo'unga versus Barrett, but I think because of the platforms they're given, that's not really a proper story, but it will be one that's talked about.
Yeah, I mean that's your top tier 1 and 2 first fives for the All Blacks now that Mackenzie's out of the picture. So people will unfairly put extra weight on this game because of that, but they're 2 key players for their sides, but you're right in saying that it's not always a true head-to-head clash at 10.
Yep. So I've got the Crusaders by 10 in this one. How do you see that one panning out?
Upset special, Hurricanes. Ooh. We're having a final in Buenos Aires.
Wow, is that wishful thinking or more?
Look, I think the Super Rugby season's been so hard to pick. It would kind of be a shame. It wouldn't be a shame. Don't send me hate mail, Crusaders fans. They deserve their success. But them winning again wouldn't fit the kind of Super Rugby season we've had. I like the upset here.
Yeah, the only thing the only certainty we've had all season kind of has been that the Crusaders are going to win it. Who knows what else is going to happen? I mean, that's been kind of the certainty through all. You talk about that, and one of the things I've been doing this season is I've been putting $2 bets on every one of my picks this season, and I'm just sort of bringing up the spreadsheet now because I'm now on a run. I forgot to put it on for week 16 to be fair, but from week 13 onwards, I've only had 1 week where I've lost money, whereas in the first 12 weeks, I only had 3 weeks where I won money. So I think the season's become more predictable as we've got to the sharp end of it. I think home advantage is going to stay true for the whole of the finals. Unfortunately,
chalk.
Chalk.
That's what they call it in like the when you do your NCAA basketball brackets.
Oh right.
Taking chalk is taking the top seed.
There we go. So I'll be shooting. Yeah, I'm not shooting from downtown. Yes, let's get all those basketball references in. Oh dearie me, I haven't got a clue what I'm talking about. Obviously,
that was a real slam dunk.
Oh dear. So, thank you very much for joining me. What kind of coverage are you guys going to be bringing us on the Tribe Sports app for these games?
Yeah, so if you can't watch the game and you want somewhere to follow, just grab Tribe from the App Store or the Play Store. We'll have live text commentary. I'll be doing the Crusaders Hurricanes game.
So plenty of basketball references during that one.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do just for you, Paul. Yeah, but we've got plenty of other sport on as well. There's some more rugby on this weekend with the women's internationals, so we'll have live commentary of both USA England and New Zealand Canada, and then all your other sport that you can follow on Tribe as well.
All that cricket and
Apparently there's cricket on.
yeah, who would know? I mean, just all these CWC, whatever that means. In my Twitter timeline, it's apparently Pakistan and India and New Zealand are doing quite well. Australia, people are up and down about. In England, well, apparently it's in England, I think. But there we go. There's your in-depth cricket analysis.
Apparently the World Cup's in England, says Paul. Yes, confirmed.
And rain's been an issue as well. That's been one of the biggest talking points. And funny enough, it's in England and it's the weather they're talking about. What a surprise. So thank you very much for joining me, Ryan. As always, subscribe, hit the bell, and that kind of stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening to the podcast, subscribe through your favourite podcasting app, and obviously let all your friends know about it, because otherwise no one else will listen, and I'll be talking to just the ether.